Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Midwest Fantasy Football. I didn't really feel like writing a league episode or league script this week, so I said, "Hey Ricky, would you like to come on and make fun of everybody in fantasy football?" So, do you have anything to say?
Derek, you really suck.
That seems to be the go-to pattern today. I guess she seems to be picking on you today. So,
Well, I did pick on him this last weekend. Quite a lot. It was kind of like playing the special kids.
she kicked his butt in the dynasty league. So, all right. Well, this week's high score, and well, before we get to that, I guess since I haven't had a video in a couple of weeks, week 8 was the last time I had a video. Since then, week 9 high score was Nick, and week 10 actually high score was pretty crazy with Pope 2.0 beating out Pope 1.0 by just a little less than 4/10 of a point, even though they both scored 163 points. So really, really close for the overall score. Here in week 11, You Suck McBain takes down Alex's Curse of the Bambino. And so we're going to bring up that over here so that way Ricky can kind of take a look at your rosters and see what she thinks about your teams here. So, Will ended up winning 152 to 103. Immediately when I take a look at this, first thing that jumps out at me for Will anyways is he's got a really solid roster going. He's got, 3 different people that put up 20-plus points? 4 different people that put up 20-plus points this week? Other than Tyler Higbee kind of sucking. What are your thoughts?
Well, now that Joe Burrow is going to be, back in the Burrow for the rest of the season, I think Alex is kind of host here.
Yeah, well, so we'll see if that impacts Alex going down the stretch. I know he does have Brock Purdy on his bench, who had a really good week this last week with 26 points. Don't know if that'll transition going forward.
Maybe. What was the projection? So Burrow was projected for 18 points initially. What was Purdy projected for? Because quite honestly, that
14
matchup with Tampa Bay, I probably might have taken that one instead. But I too played the straight numbers.
Second guessing the Joe Burrow start.
I'm sorry. I play the straight numbers. Also, one of them's looked a lot better lately. Just saying.
Yeah, well, Cincinnati's not been great, but they're certainly not going to be better going forward. So
no.
That's going to impact both your Joe Burrow start and your Tyler Boyd start. All right, so yeah, next matchup was this matchup was both the high score and the biggest blowout. Biggest blowout was about 49 points. Closest matchup this week was my team, Puka Smurf knocking off Pope 2.0's Poo Poo. His Deuce team name was Poo Poo. So. Looks like in terms of the overall scoring, I had the high guy, and this one was Saquon for 30, although Eric had 27 from Keenan Allen and 25 from Justin Herbert. But, I mean...
What is it with you and picking suboptimal quarterbacks?
Dak is like a top 5 quarterback in the league this year, right? It's been a down year for a quarterback, all right?
It's like you can't exceed that decision. You just go average.
Come on.
You just go average.
Look, let's go. We're going to go over here. Hold on. We're going to go look at the numbers here and figure out overall so far total points this season, all players, quarterbacks. Dak is the number 7 quarterback overall. You can't even say he's he's actually exactly average, I guess. So
So are you.
Ouch. Eric, you did have a pretty good game. I mean, other than just Cooper Kupp, but I mean, he got hurt and was knocked out pretty early.
That was the theme of the week.
Yeah, but it usually is. Quite a few points on your bench, though. Looks like 21, 19, and 12. So you probably could have... Yeah, you probably could have gotten the win here by getting a couple of those big scorers in instead of other guys off of your lineup. Bummer. All right. What you were talking about wanting to make fun of Derek. You want to look at his team right away?
Sure.
Okay. Well, he lost again this week to Trent. Trent got his second win of the season.
Oofda. Derek. You had a rough week.
So, yeah. He's, Trent actually, let's see, he got 32 points from Trevor Lawrence and 31 from Tank Dell. Oh, Tank Dell had a good week. I didn't realize that.
Did he do any work after the first 10 minutes of the live draft? Because holy shit, there's a lot of not achieving there. Although half his team did get hurt in his defense.
Yeah, both Aaron Jones and Ken Walker III both were knocked out this week. Not great.
No, that is unfortunate.
He did get 33 from Tyreek Hill, but not going to save him much. What does the bench look like? Ooh, there's a 20 bomb and a 24-point bomb.
I mean, to be fair, that's Justin Fields. I wouldn't have trusted that either.
Yeah. I mean, really, the only thing, you could have gotten DK Metcalf in for one of your wide receivers. I mean, A.J. Brown actually... Wow, A.J. Brown only had one catch.
Let me look at the projections for...
They're right here, Ricky.
Yeah, I know, but I need to see it for... Oh, Metcalf. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have played Metcalf either. In his defense.
Just straight up. The lady's straight by the numbers.
Yeah, straight numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, but sometimes the people making the projections do, so...
Who's consistently better at fantasy football than you? You were a feast or famine guy.
No, I am statistically so middling, it's disturbing. So, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's see. This is Tom's ruptured chub knocking off Brandon's blown call, 96 to 83. Tom,
Is phrasing still a thing?
The phrasing? Phrasing is still a thing, I guess. I don't know. Tom looks like he got just kind of a solid, steady game. He got, 15, 15, 15, 12. Really no, like, elite players. What's it look like on your bench here? Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's right. I traded you Calvin Ridley this week, and you left him on your bench, and he put up 31 points, which is a third of what your team put up.
To be fair, that's kind of where Calvin Ridley belongs, or at least in that lowest flex spot, but still.
I did see that he started Zach Charbonnet, because he was the other part of that deal, which is pretty cool. So,
yeah. You did all right. He was very much above projections, so that was the solid start.
Zach Charbonnet was? Yeah. Because I think Ken Walker got hurt, so that's
exactly.
why. Yeah. Over for Brandon, couple of, looks like maybe an injury. Oh, Raheem Mostert's questionable, but he got 10 points. Josh Kelly against Green Bay. Wow, opting to start the backup running back against the Green Bay Packers. And
that's probably a good call.
It looks like Gabe Davis put up a big old 0 bomb. That's never good.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis' story of his life. He's feast or famine. So
also, this matchup is very whelming. 96 points in a win. Come on.
Oh, ouch. Well, for Brandon, it doesn't look like you had any other options. I mean, you had literally your best lineup in. Wan'Dale Robinson could have been better than Gabe Davis, but by only a couple points, and it really wouldn't have been enough to matter. So, fun. All right. Lee's very sad ending actually got a happy ending this week, beating Scotty B's Pocket Dogs. 29 from Brandon Ayuk, 22 from Devin Singletary. Wow, and Garrett Wilson, only had 9/10 of a point. Ouch, that sucks.
He did not have a happy ending. No.
He got a win though, so that's a plus, right? I mean, he's at 5-6. He started off 3-0 or 3-1 maybe. He was in first place for a while, which
He might actually change that bronze fantasy football ranking.
Oh,
Yahoo. He's the bronze.
Oh, he's bronze.
Yeah,
okay.
He's still bronze.
Level bronze. Wow. She's savage. She's not letting anybody off the hook here.
Savage. I'm factual.
Looking at your bench for Josh and Scott here, I guess. It looks like you had you put in Devin A-Chain first week back off injury, only got 1.5 points.
Hold up. Why does he have Aaron Rodgers on his bench? You realize he's old and washed and probably never going to play again, right?
Who are we talking about? Oh,
Lee.
He's such a huge Packer fan, so I can only be the only... Now, most likely, I actually have to look.
I have shoes older than Aaron Rodgers.
The question is... Nope, he did get dropped at one point. Yeah, looks like he just picked him up about, 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago? Just in case he comes back, or maybe next year because of dollar keeper. And maybe. I don't know. But yeah, speaking of for Scott and Josh, they had a lot of points they left on the bench here. You guys lost by 35, right? Is that how that math works? 30? 30-ish, and 22 from, what is that, DJ Moore. You could have definitely gotten that in.
To be fair, though, did you expect the Bears to hang with the Lions? That was probably, again, projections-wise, was the wiser of the plays. But, yeah.
DJ Moore, 13.2 versus... No, should have had him in over Mike Evans, potentially. If you're just going straight by projections.
Yeah, okay. I can't math. All right. Who else we got here?
Let's see. We got Aaron's picking so bad it hurts over Chris's Minnesota fanboy. For Aaron, he got, let's see, a 19 from DeAndre Swift, 18 from Breece Hall, 21 from Devontae Adams, and 18 from Jalen Hurts. Pretty strong game for 115 points on your bench. There's a 16-pointer from Cortland Sutton, but no big deal there.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, 100 points, not a bad round, but you got 21 from CMC, and your wide receivers weren't real great this week. Only 10 points from Jordan Addison and Deontay Johnson. Also, Johan Dotson, I guess, got 11 in your bench. Jordan Love, really the only thing on your bench that scored any points over Russell Wilson. You want to talk about a quarterback duo for the ages there. Jordan Love and Russell Wilson. Yeah, no thoughts?
I hope they were keepers.
They were not. They
you drafted them of your own free will?
These are all of his picks. Of these one made sense to this. So his draft was 3 quarterbacks.
Okay.
He had Patrick Mahomes, he had Kirk Cousins, and Jordan Love. So he kept trying to trade everybody Jordan Love at the beginning of the year when he was really still hyped, and he wouldn't really I wanted to get him at that point. He wouldn't trade him. He wouldn't trade him to Nick. So eventually, Nick traded for Patrick Mahomes midseason and gave him Pacheco, who had a pretty good game this week. He only got 10. He only got 10 points, but he looked really, really good.
He looked really, really good.
And then
someone who's going to ride him to a dynasty championship. So.
And then Kirk Cousins got hurt the same week that he traded away Patrick Mahomes. So then he was down to Jordan Love, and so it looks like he couldn't even bring himself to do that. He had to pick up Russell Wilson.
I don't know at this point. I mean, at least Jordan Love bounces when he hits the turf and not breaks like Russell Wilson at his age.
Wilson's looked good the last couple of weeks, but I don't know if it's going to transition to fantasy football scoring or not. So, over in the last matchup, Drew's 49 problems, 103 over Nick's T-bowling for Combine, 81.
Dark, Nick. Dark. Were you even alive when that happened, too? Honestly.
Isn't that the song name, right? T-bowling for Columbine?
No, it's Flowers for Algernon. It's Bowling for Columbine was the that was the documentary on Columbine. Yeah. Anyway.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, so for Drew, looks like he got led this week by 17 from David Montgomery, 16 from Romeo Dobbs, and 13 from Jared Goff.
Man, the NFC North lots? Jeez.
Well, he's a local guy, so stick with the NFC North. I mean, most of the Packer fans in there are...
Homers! You're all homers! I'm calling you out right now.
Over for Nick, he got 16 from Mahomes and 11 and a 16 from Miami, 11 from Sanders. Yeah, so besides that, not a lot in the mid-tier wide receiver, running back, tight end game for you, Nick. Not a lot on the bench either. Bad week for the buys. Alvin Kamara on bye probably hurt you a little bit, and Miles Sanders having to ride your bench after he's bad. Looks like Chris, or I guess Drew we're talking about now. Gus Edwards, 21 points. Potentially decent off your bench.
Yeah, I was only projected for 9 to begin with, though, so I get it.
The problem with Baltimore is it's really hard on any given week to figure out who's going to score fantasy points.
Whether it's going to be... And I get that. I mean, it's either going to be, Lamar Jackson doing all the running, or it's going to actually... they might use their running backs every once in a while.
Right. All right, cool. So that's all the matchups. The next thing I was going to look at, if you give me a second here to bring this up, was projections for playoffs to see kind of where we're thinking playoff seedings are going to go to. So,
well, while you're doing that, I'm going to pick on Derek because I'm hearing about your strength of schedule. Apparently you're going up against the buzzsaw this year. Your opponents have scored an average of 131.22 points per game. And you are just a tenth a point ahead of that at 131.32.
Chris last year had one. Chris was 1/10 behind that.
Got it.
Derek's setting a new record for all-time
strength of schedule. Yeah. So, I mean, no wonder you suck because your opponents just really step up to just slam you into the ground, buddy.
Ouch.
Well, I mean.
All right, playoff odds. Here we go. So looking at playoff odds, this rundown, which I'll screenshot and put in the video, so Ricky can kind of see where it looks like everybody's projected to finish, where their current standings are right now, who they've got coming up, what we're looking at. I think if you're looking at actually I'm going to jump back over to the Yahoo standings here, and if you go look at this, here's where the crazy thing is the top 8 teams have a winning record. There's only 6 spots in the championship, so there's going to be some tight, this mid-tier section here where it's in when I'm highlighting it, it's going to be Eric, Chris, Brandon, Derek. That's a pretty tough spot. It's a pretty hard fall off from Brandon down to Hi Steve Cat. You want to get in on this video this week? Everybody's in.
The whole family's
everybody's here. There we go.
I'll put my emotional support cat
Steve
back.
Cat is literally just going to sit here. Okay, there we go. Brandon's got a 48% chance of making the playoffs, but for Derek it drops all the way down to 15%. Unfortunately, your win-loss is what's killing you there, even though you've got way more points than everybody else scored. It's just because everybody's beating up on you so far this year. So, looking at the overall standings, I mean, Scott's got it pretty much locked down for number one. I was messing around with a playoff machine calculator on this site, and even if you win out, I'd still have to win out, and I think you still take... Even if you don't win out, even if you lose out and I were to win out, because the point standings... I can't be right because I'm one game behind you. I don't know. It was going to be very. You'd have to go 1-3 or 1-2, and I'd have to go 3-0. So basically, it'd be a 2-game swing. If we have the same record, there's no way I'm catching you. I think that's what it was. So you probably are going to be looking at that bye. Now, of course, you still got to play the matchups, and who knows what's going to happen. Other than that, I think it's still pretty wide open. There's a lot of things to be had. Dude, get out of here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Steve Cat's good as Steve Cat. I've probably got cat hair all over me now. So, any thoughts to what this playoff looks like? I mean, whether it be the deuce down there, it does say that Trent is eliminated from the playoffs.
Well, I guess he doesn't have to worry about it then. I mean, you just have no hope. One thing I did notice, but if you go back to the main standings page, is you suck, Mabane. Like, what are you doing? Look at that waiver budget. Like, buy yourself a championship, buddy.
Will, that's you.
$114 left. Like, you need to be like on a spending spree here. Like,
well, the problem is you got to make it worthwhile, right? I mean, there's no point in spending $114 on a kicker.
Does it roll over? No,
it doesn't roll over.
It doesn't roll over. You can't take it with you.
I mean, that's what Chris is at $4. I've got $12.
Well, that's because Chris overpays for players at the beginning of the year.
Alex is at 0.
Still doesn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Okay. No, everybody else, like, everybody's doing all right. Like, I mean,
spending their money, but
yeah. Just seriously, like, pretend it's not your money.
Eric's still at 98. So.
Yeah, but he's still in the playoffs. So, anyway.
Fair enough. All right, well, the only other thing I was going to comment on was wagers and I guess maybe trades. So there's been a couple of trades in the leagues since I did the last video here. Trades. Let's see. So we had on November 7th, we had the swap where Sam Laporta and Tyreek Hill were swap spots. I think that might have been a future vision trade, perhaps.
Was that the half of ham sandwich one?
I don't know. So... and then last week, Tom and I made a swap where I sent over Ridley and Zach Charbonnet in exchange for Michael Pittman and Rico Dowdle. I wanted Dowdle basically as a handcuff for Tony Pollard, and Michael Pittman was kind of just an upgrade at wide receiver if I could do it. Now it kind of that Ken Walker III is going to maybe be out for a few weeks. It might have been nice to still have Charbonnet, but I guess that's the way it goes, right?
Hindsight 2020.
Hindsight is always 2020. Also, just
it's the only thing you see 2020.
Man, the only other thing that I got as part of that deal is that I did send $1 of my budget for next year's draft over to Tom in that deal, so that way, if he wanted to keep Zach Charbonnet, he basically keep him as a free keeper because he's $1.
So that's the half a ham sandwich.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. Okay. I don't know. So, all right. Well, that's basically a rundown of where we're at. I know Scott and my kicker wager is still pretty close. The Packer wager, they won this week, so that's a step in the right direction. But I don't think they're getting to 8-7, so that's probably a loss there. Darren Waller still sucks.
Yeah.
Did he do anything this week with the new quarterback, or is he hurt? I think he's still hurt, isn't he? Yeah, I think he's still hurt. Yeah, he's on IR. Bummer, dude. Yeah, the new quarterback finally shows up and is actually good. Now your main tight end is on the bye or on the bench, huh? All right, well, it's been fun. I appreciate you coming and joining. Anything you want to, final words of wisdom? There's only 3 weeks left to go in the regular season.
Numbers don't lie. Guys, numbers don't lie.
Numbers.
Pundits do.
Numbers lie plenty. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next week.